Hey everybody, it's Positive Bluebird
And Pablo.
So today we're going to talk about celebrity news and gossip.
Yes.
Who doesn't love gossip, right?
Oh, exactly.
So we're going to start with Bunny XO and her soon-to-be ex,
Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll.
Yep.
Now, I'm sure we're not the only ones that were in shock when we saw the headline news all over the place, especially on Instagram and TMZ. I usually don't like TMZ because sometimes I feel like they're like tabloid news, you know what I mean? But TMZ is not wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that Bunny and Jelly Roll went on. It was mostly Bunny. She went on her own podcast called Ditzy Blonde or Dumb Blonde.
I think it's Dumb Blonde.
Okay. And so I listened to part of it because it was like an hour and a half or something like that. But I got the gist of it. But I was really confused about Jelly Roll because he last week went out on stage because he's touring.
Yeah.
And he said he's going to say this once and only once. And it was something in regards to rumors being spread all over the internet. But he wasn't like being specific. Until the end, he said, I could have sworn he said, we're still married, she's still my wife, and I will always love her. I love you, my best friend. Something to that degree.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Bunny did her podcast with Jelly Roll's daughter. I believe she's 18 now. And it might have been her friend, and I can't remember Jelly Roll's daughter's name.
Yeah.
But they were talking, and I follow them on Instagram as well. And so I remember they were trying to have a baby. And I believe she's 46. And she hasn't been able to conceive, and so they tried IVF. And my understanding is she's going to live on, she calls it the compound. I've only seen bits and pieces of their land.
Yeah.
From what they've posted on YouTube in the past, which was like getting some goats and cows and llamas or whatever. And so I've seen a few structures on their compound, but she said she's going to live in one of those little sheds, and maybe she's going to turn it into a house. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or they're going to build on the compound, however.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking Jelly Roll may be the original owner to all of that land.
Probably, yeah.
And so, you know, I don't know the gist of all of that. And I don't really care. It's not my business. But they said that they're going to now use a surrogate, which in my opinion, I think is wonderful. I think IVF is fine. I mean, I have no major opinions about all of this. I just think, you know, it's your body, your life, and you're going to choose what you want to do, especially if you're wanting to have a baby from somebody else's genes. And so it sounds like she's talking about using her eggs and his little swimmers, and they're gonna have the surrogate carry possibly twins is what they're looking at, maybe a boy and a girl, however, and raise the child or children together as divorcees. How do you see that? Like, what is your take on that?
I don't know. I see it as it was a weird way of them, like, coming out of them being married and then all of a sudden getting divorced. Just like that.
It hit everybody like a brick wall.
It reminds me of Ben and Jen. Not Jennifer Lopez, Jennifer Gardner.
Okay.
They had a really stable relationship and they were married, of course, had kids. All of a sudden, out of the blue, he dumps her for Jennifer Lopez?
And you know, a lot of people love Jennifer Lopez. Like,
oh yeah,
I like some of her movies. I think her acting is all right.
It's mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when she and Ben got back together, I think the public, we all kind of had this opinion like, okay. And maybe some people were really cheering, oh, yay, congratulations, you know.
Yeah.
And I had high hopes for them too. But at the same time, there was a couple of award shows, like Grammys or whatever, and the camera people were like right there, zooming in on it, and you know, and she was doing her best to try not to like have the camera zooming in on her mouth because there's a lot of lip readers out there.
Yeah.
And you know, so it was mostly picking up Ben's attitude.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was pouting a lot, or like, I don't want to be here kind of thing, you know. And the cameras were always picking that up, and maybe she was talking about like, well, you know, after we eat dinner here and we watch the awards, we're going to the after party.
No.
And he's probably like, I don't want to go. Why? You know. And the camera people are picking up on this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, how embarrassing. You know. And then they would take like little trips on a boat or a ship or whatever, and it's like, I don't know who was filming that. I don't know if they brought the camera guy with them. I don't know what was going on with that, but it was, you know. And then she created an alcoholic beverage, and people went nuts because they're like, I thought Ben was supposed to be working on his sobriety, and Jennifer was sober, or like I don't know if she was ever an alcoholic. You know. But, you know, they just thought that was a little bit weird and bad timing kind of thing. So I see what your point's coming from. And, you know, but I look at all of this, like, as far as Bunny and Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
You and I are no different from what they're doing, except they're wanting to have a surrogate.
Yeah.
And have babies, because she's never been able to have children.
Yes.
And she's getting older, and she, you know, and she's like, I want babies. And I like Bunny XO. Like, you know, yeah, her past, it's her past, whatever. Same with Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Did I just say, I meant Bunny XO and Jelly Roll's past. A lot of people have history in the past. And I feel that if you can prove to people that you can clean up your life, like, you know, for instance, he's doing music and he lost so much weight.
Yeah.
But I will say that was also from Bunny helping him.
Yeah.
She surprised him a year ago. I think it was a year or 2 years ago. On the compound, she had these people build a wrestling cage or boxing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like a boxing
like a UFC
ring.
match.
Yeah,
thing, whatever.
And he was so happy about that because we've seen Jelly Roll many times on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown or whatever.
Wrestling.
And, you know, so he's a big fan, obviously. And that really helped him do his workouts and what have you. I don't know if that stuff was ever filmed on YouTube on his channel, but you know, he's lost a significant amount of weight.
Yeah,
and
he has.
I think that's wonderful and that's healthy, but he has to remember who has been helping him and supporting him along the way. And that's been Bunny. And, you know, they were like the power couple, the it couple, and couple of the year, it seemed like. And then, bam, we all get hit like a ton of bricks. And it doesn't seem fair. But it's not our life to live. And so, you know, a lot of people already know our history. We've known each other off and on for almost 38 years this August.
Yeah.
And I say August because that's when school started back in the day, and then it still does. And so, you know, being the fact that we were always running into each other and saving each other's lives from our own disabilities and diseases and near death and things like that, and helping our children through bitter divorces and custody, I feel that I don't have a place to say, oh God, why is she gonna live on the compound and they're gonna share a child together while she's living there, but they're not gonna be married? Like, I don't have a say-so in that. I don't think it sounds unhealthy. Things are a lot more different in this day and age, and, you know, whether they're married or not, I think if he can be a stand-up guy and prove this and show it, that will make the rest of us feel a lot better about him. I know there's so many haters out there saying, "Oh my God, you cheated on your wife," and now they're both claiming. Let me take a drink of water. They're now both claiming in the podcast that they both never cheated on each other. But I thought that they had a podcast a while ago and he admitted that he cheated on her. But I don't know. And right now, the tabloids are saying that he moved on to a new relationship a month later after the divorce. And I guess what happened was Bunny and him were arguing verbally back and forth on Mother's Day of this year. I'm sure stress of not being able to get pregnant. Maybe they wanted to have a surprise that day on Mother's Day and it didn't work and they got mad at each other. I don't know, but I mean, that's not fair to do to one another.
Yeah.
You know, it's neither one of their fault. You know, whether he can get anybody pregnant, maybe he's the one that his swimmers are not working.
Yeah.
You know, maybe her eggs are not working. And so I don't know enough about that, but, you know, I'm hoping that a surrogate will work. And I bet you anything right now, they both are working with a surrogate, doing what they need to do, and we'll probably have some new news in the coming months.
Yeah.
You know? So I say, you know what? You could still be a power couple whether you are married or divorced.
Yeah, true.
So I'm going to wish them both the best of luck. I love Jelly Roll's music. I think it's very powerful.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think that in the future, maybe he might want to get rid of these. I don't know. Maybe he likes the tattoos on his face because maybe to him it's a symbol of where he's been.
Kind of like Post Malone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not somebody that likes all that on your beautiful face. You know what I mean? Some people put like a big thing of cherries or, you know.
Yeah.
Metallica
$sign.
all the way across their face. So be it. It doesn't mean that you're a nasty, horrible, ugly, despicable person. So I wish them both the best of luck. But yeah, moving on to J-Lo, we saw that split. That didn't last very long.
With the whole thing with J-Lo, it's like in the Jelly Roll and Bunny XO with the J-Lo and Ben Affleck without the kids, so like being surrogate parents. But it also reminds me of George Lopez and his wife.
Okay.
When they were together, I heard that he had a rare kidney disease or some kidney disease.
Yeah.
What I heard is that his wife gave him a kidney and then he divorced her.
He divorced her?
Yeah, now that's what I heard, but I was
Wow.
just like, okay, if somebody's giving you like a gift of life, you're gonna leave them afterwards?
Exactly. That'd be like if you and me, you know, living together and knowing each other all these years, and then like let's say you were healthy and you were able to give me a kidney or whatever, like, or a heart. I mean, and then I suddenly packed up all my stuff and left. That would just be terrible.
Yeah, it's
you
crazy.
know? Or if you gave me a kidney and you decided to leave, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, with J-Lo, she, after Ben Affleck the first time, she married A-Rod.
Yeah.
What is his real? It's
Alex Rodriguez.
Alex Rodriguez. That's right. I'm just so used to A-Rod.
Yeah.
And he's a good-looking guy too. And the two of them blended their children together from previous marriages. You and I had done that when we were married, Shiloh and Ryland. And I don't remember how long J-Lo and A-Rod were together, but I follow the two of them, and I saw Christmases together. I saw the kids were close in age on both sides, and they were doing skiing outings out in Colorado where we live, and going on ship rides, boat rides, you know, camping, whatever. Just every holiday, dinner event, just things that you could see together as a family. And they looked like they were having so much fun. And this was going on for at least, I thought, 4+ years. So again, I don't know how many years they were all together. And then all of a sudden we see a split and we're like, what the?
Yep.
And it's like, it seemed like a month later that she was back with Ben Affleck. And it's like, you can't keep up.
Yeah.
And maybe to us it seems like a month later, where maybe it's the tabloids that are finding out about it a month later, when it could have been months or years later. You know, and that split really kind of irked me because there's 4 kids involved. I think there was 4, 2 on each side. And I felt like, are the kids still going to be able to hang out? Because they're teenagers.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping to this day that J-Lo and A-Rod and Ben, like all of them can all just hang out together.
Yeah.
Now it looks like J-Lo was hanging out with Ben Affleck's daughter.
Yeah.
Was it at a concert?
I think, I'm not sure.
Or an award. I
Something
don't know.
like that, yeah.
I need to read more. I get so distracted, but and boy does she look like Jennifer Garner. Oh my goodness. I think she's got cute short hair if I can recall. I'm very tall because Jennifer's tall, but the child was hanging out with Jennifer Lopez's daughter.
Oh, okay.
The one that everybody's making fun of that looks like a boy.
Oh, yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God, she's gay. And like, stop. Just stop. Let kids and teenagers be who they're going to be.
Yeah.
Let people be who they're going to be.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't make me hate any of these people. It doesn't make me, like, cringe too much. Like, sometimes I just kind of go like this and roll my eyes like, oh, okay. They've all got money.
Yeah.
And let them do what they're going to do. And, we only see what we see through the tabloids and through the internet and social media and rumors and all of that. We don't live these people's lives. So who knows? They could have some really healthy boundaries and positive relationships outside of the paparazzi.
Yeah.
So now you and I first saw Ben Affleck many years ago on TV. Voyage of the Mimi was a show that my class had to watch back in 3rd grade, and he was on there. And we had to learn sign language, and I believe Ben is around our age.
Yeah.
And so, when you think about how young he was and, us being in the 3rd grade and he was probably in the 5th or 6th grade, it's just so iconic and fun to think about that, And I remember learning sign language back then. Not a whole lot of words, but I do remember like the whole alphabet and doing my name and stuff like that, and small phrases.
Yeah.
But I'm mostly a lip reader. I
Yeah.
taught myself that 25 years ago before Ryland was born. So when people think they're muting on TikTok or whatever, I can still read your lips, honey. You might want to go like this,
Yeah.
But, okay, now let's move on to Taylor Swift.
Okay.
I'm not a Swiftie, but I don't hate her and I don't hate her music.
Yeah, it's
some
true.
of her music is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not
You
bad.
know, I like some of it. It's pretty hip hop, you know. Some of it I feel like it's snooze fest, and I just like,
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's bad. But what do you think about her and what is his name?
Travis Kelce.
Yeah. What do you think of Travis?
I'm not a big Travis fan because I don't like the Kansas City Chiefs. Who doesn't like the Kansas City Chiefs? There's probably people out that do like the Kansas City Chiefs.
They're all right.
But I would have to say that when I heard Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got together, I was like, that's an interesting couple. She looks more upbeat, and he always looks, and I'm not saying that he's always angry, but he's always angry around football players and his coach, especially his head coach.
Yes. Now, Gerald and I have had this conversation many times that I don't like him putting his hands on his head coach, who is probably, in his 60s?
He's like in his mid-60s, I think.
Okay. What is his name?
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
Yeah.
And, the few times that they've lost, did they lose the Super Bowl? I don't remember.
They lost I think it was a playoff.
Okay. And he put his hands on him again in the locker room or something like that. The paparazzi, some people were snapping photos. And we've seen it live a couple of times.
Yeah.
When they've played our Broncos. And I'm like, wait a minute, did he just do... And he's literally pushing and shoving. He's getting in his coach's face.
Yeah.
And his fingers like this. And the coach is just being calm.
Yep.
this kind of thing. And the last I recall, when you play sports, you're not supposed to harass your coach. You're not supposed to harass the referee, no matter the sport. And so, I just find that, in my opinion, scary, because if she's going to marry him and he's acting angry like this and competitive, which I understand, there's a lot of men that are competitive when they're in sports. Is he going to act like that if they were to plan on children?
Yeah.
Does he ever act like that around her at home? I really hope and pray that he doesn't. And again, I'm not saying that he is like that. He's probably just very competitive, wears his heart on his sleeve when it comes to sports, especially playing for football in the Kansas City Chiefs, but it doesn't make him look that good to me. I do like his clothing style. I like the way that she dresses. She's like a baby doll sometimes. A lot of people are just like, oh my God, that outfit is terrible. I don't see her wearing pants that much. Like sometimes cute little casual slacks. I just think she dresses really nice. She's very elegant. People are already talking about, hopefully she gets a new hairstyle. I mean, I like her hair. I'm a bangs person too. I don't look good with no bangs. Maybe she likes her bangs, and the color of her hair. The Eras Tour, I will say, that to me is epic. I never went to that concert, but my son did out in Colorado, in Denver. And that was in 2021 or 2022.
Right around there somewhere.
And they were pretty pricey tickets. And, so for her to do that all around the world for at least a year, I mean, she was even touring and on stage come rain or shine, and they used to do that. And they probably still do in some states like here in Colorado, where if it's going to rain, it's going to rain. Now, they did say at Red Rocks, there was a concert a couple of years ago, and it hailed. And people were getting pelted, and they were really upset that the band would keep playing and all of that. And then finally the band had to get off stage because the hail was growing. And if you guys know about Colorado, like, we get everybody's weather. We get monsoons and typhoons and So I hear that her wedding to Travis, and this is rumors, this is speculation, you guys, from the internet, that they might be going to New York, and where is it supposed to be?
Madison Square Gardens.
And the rumor is this person or people reserved this space and the grounds around it and put quite a hefty deposit down.
Dang.
And that's why it's rumored that it could be Taylor Swift. Now, you mentioned something this morning about this.
Yeah, that's why I was like, when I heard that they were getting married and going to Madison Square Gardens for the wedding, I figured since she's a billionaire, she could go anywhere around the world to get married. But why Madison Square Gardens?
Yeah, and then I told Gerald that perhaps it's kind of like a concert, but it's her wedding. And maybe she wants to do this for her fans instead of going all the way out to France or Paris or London where we don't get to see it. And so maybe she wants people to be able to buy their I don't know if you would buy tickets online to see this. Or if she's building a barricade like they do for the Today Show. And if you guys know, the Today Show has been around for 30 plus years. They have the barricades, and they'll bring out concert goers here and there and build a little stage, and they'll just do a little music in the morning and then like an hour or two after the major news and all of that. And so perhaps that's kind of what she's doing, but it's the wedding ceremony. And then, she's signing autographs. I don't know. And maybe there's like spaces, for her guests. And I can imagine, since they've been planning for the last couple of years, that list, I don't know how you do it if you're a famous person. Like, you, number one, are probably hiring a wedding vendor that's going to plan all this stuff with you. But imagine how stressed out somebody would be, like Taylor or myself. If I was famous, I'd be like, okay, did you make sure you got the Backstreet Boys on there?
Yeah.
Did you get the Kardashians?
Yeah.
Don't forget Paris Hilton. Who else? Oh, her mom. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like creating this list. And then you have your wedding that's televised or famous, or maybe people are filming it, you know, that are on the other side of the barricade. Maybe there, I would imagine there's going to be lots of security if she is getting married there. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe snipers on the roof.
Yeah.
You never know, because she and him are like gold. They're like that couple, the one that used to be a Spice Girl.
Oh, David Beckham and
Yes.
Victoria Beckham?
Yes. Though
Yeah.
it's okay. So David Beckham and Victoria, they live in London or England, right?
Yeah.
So they're like gold people out there. They're like the royal to famous people.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at it like Travis and
Taylor
are
Yeah.
going to be like that out there in New York if they really truly are
Yeah.
getting married
Mhm.
at Madison Square Garden. They're going to have the snipers. They're going to have the security.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have the
you
whole
know.
shebang.
Yeah. So we'll see. And people might film it. Yeah. But supposedly it's a 3-day event.
Whoa.
So how does that work?
I have no idea.
Maybe, okay. Things are different from when we got married.
Yeah.
But our second marriage, when I say our second marriage, it's our first marriage, but our second marriage altogether.
Yeah.
From other people.
Uh-huh.
So I wore lavender, and what was your suit? I already forgot.
I
You
wore
had
a
a lavender
shirt with, I think, black slacks. No, tan slacks? No.
I don't remember.
Blue or
I think
black
it was
slacks.
black, yeah.
Yeah, black slacks.
And then
a-
Rylan had a lavender
Yeah.
short
Mhm.
sleeve shirt, and then Shiloh had a skirt
Uh-huh.
that had elastic around it. And our friend that surprised me with my wedding dress put Shiloh in it like a dress, like it was
Oh,
a
yeah.
tube top dress.
Mhm.
It was really cute.
Yeah, it was a cute little dress.
And we got the pictures over there. It's really
Yep.
cute. But where was I going with this? I already forgot.
Like our wedding was kind of short or whatever.
Oh, so the first time you get married, you wear white. The second time you get married, you wear another couple, or another
Color.
couple, another color. And so, you know, I don't think that either one of them have been married before in the first place. So, when I know what I'm getting at. Okay, so the first night, like when I got married to Jason, your first night, let's say we're getting married on a Saturday. Your Friday night is the dinner with the in-laws, other family members that are coming to the wedding the next day. Your parents, your siblings, bridesmen, groomsmen, all of that, bridesmaids, and everybody's sitting down having potluck dinner in a restaurant. And then the next day you have your wedding. Then you all get in the car, shove the dress in there, head down to the hotel or the other venue for your what do you call it? Your reception. Thank you, Gerald. It's almost time for coffee. It's 4:30. I'm like, I need coffee. My brain is starting to like. I've been looking out the window all day, and they're planting new things out there, and it's really cool. I'll show you guys that later. But yeah, so we had the reception, and then the next day, what Paris Hilton did was they went to an amusement park. It was like all pink. I think they shut it down just for her and all her famous friends. And so that's what I mean by today's world. They do things a little bit different on the third day. And so maybe that's why it's 2 to 3 days that she is reserving that entire neighborhood lot of New York.
Yeah.
If that's what she's doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, best of luck to the two of them. I think they look like a cute couple to me. I think she's a little doll. I've seen her, you know, interviews and stuff, and she's just so quirky and silly and funny.
Yeah.
And tall, like him.
Yeah.
So best of luck to them, and if they plan on children, yay, that's great. But Travis, we are keeping our eyes on you.
That's funny.
Straighten up the attitude, dude. Keep it in the sports bar room or the man cave, and when you come out, be happy, put on a smile, kiss your wife, future children, and be happy.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Who else was on that? Oh, let's talk about the last couple. This couple, a little bit different. This would be Will Smith and
Jada
Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Pinkett Smith.
Pinkett Smith, yeah.
And I remember her when she had the long hair, and she was in a few movies back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s.
I remember when she was on A Different World.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't watch that show too much.
Yeah, neither did
it had
I.
Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
And what's her name?
Lisa Bonet.
Yeah, Lisa Bonet from
Yeah.
The Cosby Show. And I watched it a few times here and there.
Yeah.
I was busy in my 20s, living my best life. So, but Will Smith and his wife, as we all recall, were at one of the other award shows, and we thought this was an act. I still don't know. When I see that slap, I've played it so many times, I'm thinking to myself, is that real? Because when he slapped, who did he slap?
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock
Yep.
on the stage. And he said, keep my bleeping wife's name out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Out of your bleeping mouth.
Yeah.
And the audience was so quiet that I was like, okay, is this a skit? And the audience is in on it. And then all of a sudden it's like still quiet. It's like birds chirping and crickets. And I was like, okay, this is real. This is on live TV. This just happened. Will Smith is pissed. And then he took it to social media the next day saying, you know, you deserve that slap, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know how you guys felt about it, but do you think it was still an act, or do you think it was justified?
That almost looked like it was legit, because at first Will Smith kind of laughed at Chris Rock's joke about his wife.
Yeah, and then he
and
looked
then
at
all
her.
of a sudden he looked at her and she had that
She was like
evil
this.
look, and then he goes, that's when he like,
Oh,
and then all of a sudden,
and went up there.
I was like,
and
dang.
from what we've learned, and again, this is rumored from the internet, the two of them since 2016 have been living in two separate houses.
Yeah, I was
now,
shocked.
I did hear that they gave their two kids that are maybe older teens, young adults.
I think they're in their
I'm not
20s.
sure. Okay. Well, when they were teenagers, like when one of them was 16 and the other one was maybe 17 or 18, Will Smith bought them or built them a house, like their own little luxury mansions.
That's
I don't know.
crazy,
That's
yeah.
just what I've heard.
Mhm.
Or the house next door, because you know, if they're living in California on Rodeo Drive or whatever.
Rodeo Drive.
Yeah. I can't say nothing right.
It's okay.
And you know what those houses look like out there, and they're buying their teenagers their own home. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So, and I've never seen any of Jada's podcasts but one. I don't know. I was kind of opinionated by it, because sometimes it's like watching The View, and the other show called The Talk.
Okay, yeah.
And we all have our opinions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they have hot topics like we are now, everybody's going to have an opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And so Jada had shaved her head completely bald. I don't know if she became Buddhist or she switched her religion, which, you know, you have the freedom to do.
Mm-hmm.
And started wearing the scarves or turbans or something. It was different. It was hard for me to get used to, you know, seeing her like that. But hey, she could actually pull off a bald head. Like, she got the head for it. Like, it looks really good. And then her daughter followed, and then they became vegan. And they, you know, people are going to do what they're going to do, whether you're famous or not. And more power to you.
Yeah.
I just don't believe in some things that people do. Like, if you live in two separate houses, but you're still married and you refuse to get married, remarried and divorced. Yeah. I mean, it's their life.
Yeah.
And from what I gather, it seems like they still go out to the restaurants in the public. Like, the paparazzi are snapping photos of them, still going to dinner, still going to family events and concerts together. And so maybe they just look at it as that's his big giant man cave. You know, I kind of see it like that with Snoop Dogg. where I see them together a little more often on Snoop Dogg's page. And people thought those two were headed towards divorce, but more power to her too, because she stood by her man all these years when they were young, and I think they were teenagers, and he was becoming famous with his record label. And did leave his girlfriend or wife at the time, and went with another woman, and she had a baby. And to this day, Snoop Dogg is still in that young man's life as his son.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is his son.
Yeah.
But Snoop Dogg's wife, she does the same thing. She considers him her stepson. And he's from another woman that Snoop Dogg cheated with. And so, and now she became his manager. And I say, again, we're not famous. It sounds a little bizarre sometimes, but people might think it's bizarre that we're living together when we're not even married. And, we love each other as besties. We're not in love, and we're okay with that. Yeah. There's times where I'm like looking at Gerald like, oh, he's just so cute sitting over there with the dog, looking at his phone, just smiling away. And then I get up and I pinch his cheek. So it's kind of like a sibling thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's much different. Everybody's going to do what they're going to do. And in today's world, we all need each other, you guys. Yep. Look what's happening in the White House. Look what's happening with all these wars that people are starting unnecessarily. And the stock market and people not being able to afford anything.
Yep.
And my son is like still living at home because he can't afford to move out, and he can't afford to get a car or a license right now.
Yep.
And so I say, if it's your own life and you are happy, so be it. That's the way it should be. Mm-hmm. So with that, look at that, 41 minutes. I didn't even look at the time this entire time. And we were saying, let's do 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's been 40 minutes. So
there we go.
There we go, guys. I don't even think this video needs editing at all. Maybe I'll put a little music in the background for you. And Yorgi thinks it's time to eat, but it's not. It's not time to eat yet,
Not time
Yorgi.
to eat yet, Bubba.
So I will show pictures on the community wall of what's happening out front in our townhome community. It's looking pretty good out there.
It is.
So, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this segment of Birds of a Feather podcast. It was fun.
Yep.
Did you have fun? That was a good topic.
It was a good
I'll
topic.
let you choose the next one again.
Okay.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out and stay positive. Hey, guys. We forgot to talk about Britney Spears, but we wanted to say we love you. I know that you had an incident a few months ago.
It was a DUI.
And hopefully you are working on your sobriety and people are still surrounding themselves around you. We've seen her hang out with the Kardashians and Paris Hilton and all of them. So keep being you, keep dancing. She wore a yellow, what is it? Itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini
that she wore for the first time today.
There you go. Peace out, guys.